Hi everyone, during winter quarter 2025, I completed an end-to-end UX research and UX UI design project focused on understanding how Magic the Gathering MTG Players track and manage their physical card collection. So first, a little bit of context. Magic the Gathering is a collectible card game with over 20,000 unique cards in circulation. Many players own thousands of physical cards, but managing this collection is surprisingly messy. Um, the tools that they use are scattered, confusing, or too time consuming. Because of that, players often struggle to know exactly what they own, what cards are in their decks, and where their cards physically are. This leads to frustration, occasional financial loss from buying duplicates cards, and a lot of waste time trying to manually stay organized while also looking by their digital collection or inventory. So the goal of this project was to design a spellbook, a mobile app that helped players track, organize, and search their physical cards collection in a much easier and more reliable way. My research centered around three main questions. What frustrations do users face when managing their decks and collections? What do they actually want from a mobile app? What tools or features could realistically streamline their workflow? To answer this, I conducted 6 user interviews with casual and competitive players, a survey with 15 participants recruited from Discord and Facebook groups, a competitive analysis, persona, journey maps, and a feature priority matrix. And during the design phase and testing, I ran a usability test with 5 users to validate their experience. All of this research helped me understand not only the functional needs of players, but also the emotional landscape behind collection management, things like trust, frustration, relief, and effort. To bring the research to life, I created 2 user characters. One, Ricardo, whose journey with the app is successful, and one whose journey ends unsuccessfully. So, Ricardo wants two things: clarity and easy search. He wants to know what he owns, what each card is, and what's already assigned to a deck. He's used multiple websites and apps before, but updating them takes too much time and he often forgets to keep things consistent. He's also very intolerant of having his information scattered across multiple websites and apps. And in the interview session, his communication style was casual and expressive, especially when he gets frustrated by updating his inventory of his collection, and his character web revolves around a close groups of friends he plays with weekly, and friends who shares cards, building decks, and constantly buy cards to grow their collection. Alejandro, on the other hand, is a very different type of player. He interacts mostly with unknown opponents at local tournaments and online players. Um, his goal is to understand the value of his collection and easily identify which card he could sell in the future. He currently uses a spreadsheet to track his cards, but it's full of small errors, misspellings, and missing entries, and updating it manually is slow and frustrating. He also has limited passion of fixing mistakes or logging cards one by one. Um, his diction on the interview session was fragmented, especially when he got annoyed about his experience with the spreadsheet. Um, and he often spoke on incomplete thoughts and a lot of full game terminology. Now let's walk through Ricardo's journey using Bogler's hero's journey, Aristotle's three-act structure, and Plotchik emotion wheel. Starting by Ordinary World, Ricardo manages cards across multiple tools and forgets to update them. He wants one reliable place, app, or site to see everything he owns. He worries that a new app will just be more work for him. Um, he encounters Spellbook app that promises simple, accurate inventory management. He imports his collection and starts exploring. He tries he tries scanning, swapping cards between different decks and collection, and finds the UI very intuitive. He prepares for game night, fully relying on the Spellbook app. So a friend gives him a card he thinks he owns, and the app show he does, but it's in a different deck. So now he realizes that the app is actually reliable. He finally feels relief. Everything is visible and accurate in just one place. He uses the app confidently for upcoming game nights, and the spellbooks become his central system. So, return with the Elixir, he now has clarity, reliability, and an effortless process that matches his physical collection. From the Norma's framework perspective, the moment Ricardo opened the app, it just felt right. The clean layout, the card previews, everything looked familiar, almost comforting, like flipping through his physical binder. Then, as he started using it, the behavioral side kicked in. Scanning a card worked the first time, sorting made sense, finding a card took seconds. Every interaction reassured him, okay, this app really has my back. And finally, on a reflective level, he realized the app matched the kind of player and collector he wants to be. Someone organized, dependable, and ready to help his friends by lending cards without the usual chaos. Alejandro's journey is intentionally different from Ricardo's, where Ricardo succeeds, Alejandro doesn't. And that failure is important because it reveals unmet needs and deep trust issues that the designer still has to solve. His story begins in his ordinary world and exposition by Freytag 5 acts. So Alejandro keeps a messy, error-prone spreadsheet. Cards go missing, names get misstepped, and he often thinks he owns cards he can't actually find. Emotionally, this places him in sadness on Plotchik's wheel. So he wants something better. He wants to understand the value of his collection and know what he can sell, but he is hesitant. Every new tool feels like more work. The Spellbook app promises scanning, easier search, and a clear vision of his collection. So he gave it a try, scan a few cards, and explore the interface. Some things work well, scanning is smooth, the UI feels intuitive, but Alejandro doesn't trust it yet. He double checks everything against his spreadsheet, which creates distraction instead of clarity. Before a tournament, he uses the app to check which card he can sell. Here we see fear of relying on something new, and this is where his arc breaks. A card he believes he owns isn't showing up in the app. Later, he discovers it is buried in his binder. To him, this confirms that the app is incomplete and therefore untrustworthy. Instead of moving together towards reward or transformation like Ricardo, Alejandro abandons the app and returns to the spreadsheet he's been maintaining for years. From the Norman's framework perspective, on a visceral level, the app looks great, but Alejandro, that actually adds pressure. His own collection is messy, and the thought of entering everything just to make it accurate feels overwhelming. Behaviorally, the features work, but he keeps comparing everything to his old spreadsheet. Instead of easing the process, the app ends up adding more mental load. And reflectively, Alejandro wants speed and efficiency, but scanning and reorganizing years of cards take too long, and he invests so much time in his spreadsheet that he still trusts it more. Here are the Pixar style story, the composition, for both users' journey. First, Ricardo's journey, and then Alejandro's journey. Another way to tell Ricardo's story is through the journey map, which visualizes not just his actions but also his emotions, needs, and the moments where the spellbook app steps in and sees how the solution can support him at each step. It also helps us contrast this journey with Alejandro's journey, revealing in a single glass where he struggles, why he loses trust, and how the experience breaks down. These stories built empathy because I grounded both characters directly in my research, real emotions, real frustrations, and the actual behavior I observe and hear from them in the interviews and the usability testing. Ricardo represents users who gain clarity and trust in the app, while Alejandro shows how overwhelm and data mismatches can completely break that trust. They also share data like syncing collections, scanning cards, searching for what users own, and moving cards between decks. And they stay engaged in the interview sessions and the usability test to show where the design supports users and where it still needs to improve. So, the big takeaway from these two stories, Ricardo's journey shows what it feels like when the product truly supports a player. Everything becomes clearer, easier, and more trustworthy. Alejandro's journey shows the opposite. When efforts stay high and trust breaks, even good features can save the experience. So, together, their stories remind me that success isn't just about functionality, it's about meeting user emotionally and trust at the same time. Thank you.